Going on, gang? What's up? What's up? We having some technical difficulties on the Twitter side. We're having some technical difficulties on the Twitter side, trying to connect the actual Twitter space with the actual broadcast tonight here on YouTube, guys. So be patient. We're trying to go ahead and get everybody that we can up in there. Ben Israel, we having some issues trying to get everybody up in there. I'm trying to see what I can do on the technical side to go ahead and get this space rolling and everything. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what we can do because I've had to restart the actual space already one time because of the actual, I don't know what's going on, but I'm definitely having some technical issues on my end. I'm trying to get that sorted out so we can go ahead and we can get this Twitter space rolling. You guys see the title. We're going to be talking about the space that Luther Campbell had and that he was calling Tariq Nasheed in there. We're going to be talking about some of the things that they talked about in that space. I'll be honest, I didn't hear all that space, but I heard enough from people. I pretty much know the talking points and everything else that they're talking about. We heard people in there mentioning Louis Farrakhan's name and Malcolm X's name. And I guess Luke decided to make a comparison, basically saying if you feel this way about Kamala Harris, and you have to feel this way about them as well, too. Very strange comparison, but he felt the need to go ahead and compare them, basically saying, hey, if you support Louis Farrakhan and you support Malcolm X, then you should do the same pretty much for Kamala Harris as well, too. So we're trying to get everything. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I was having some real technical difficulties. I had to restart the X space up. I see we got Israel up in here. Original, what's up? Can you hear me? If you guys can hear me up in here, let me know because we've been having some real issues trying to get this thing started. So shout out to everybody coming in here tonight. You guys see the title. This is the second space we had to create tonight because I'm having some issues. So I'm glad to have everybody coming up back up in the space and whatnot. Okay, I know you guys can hear me on shout out Camille. I see a shout out to you guys on YouTube. Shout out to all my family on YouTube. Yeah, it's the X space that we was having the issue with, guys. YouTube was fine, but it's the X space. I'm trying to connect and everything. I was having some real issues on that end and had to restart it up. I could never really even get into the actual room, so we had to go ahead and restart this thing. First space / broadcast of the week. Shout out to all my people joining us tonight. You guys already know. You guys been hearing about the actual and it's only so much room in the title, but you guys on YouTube, they see it's Luke versus Tariq Nasheed. And we want to touch up on that a little bit. You guys, I know you guys have been up in those spaces. Some of you guys, I want to hear what you guys think about that space. I want you guys to come up. I know Tariq Nasheed also had a space firing back as well, too. We know about the comparisons that, basically Luke was trying to draw between Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan. Kamala Harris as well too. So we want to go ahead and we want to touch up on that as well too. I know a lot of people and been talking about I've heard some people saying that Farrakhan was a tether, and I haven't heard so much about people saying it about Louis Farrakhan, but quite a few people have been saying that Minister Farrakhan was a tether. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're also going to talk about the illegals in California on the verge of potentially getting housing and getting being allowed to be into an actual home loan program as well too, undocumented immigrants at that. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of combine both of those for this topic tonight. We want to pretty much touch up on it because, like I say, hadn't had a chance to really do anything lately. I want to get what everybody thinks about it. I want to get what you guys think about the actual people saying that Farrakhan was a tether, this and that or whatever. It's just glad to have you guys up in here. You know how we do it. Definitely come on up here, raise your hand. We will get you up here. I want to hear what you guys got to say. I want to hear what you guys got to say about potentially about and it's close to passing in California, potentially having illegal immigrants out there actually having the ability to actually own homes, being able to go in programs and everything else as well too. So we touching up on all that tonight. We touching up on all that. So I definitely feel free to come on up in here. We got the space rolling now. I'm glad to see that. For all my people in the Twitter space, definitely go ahead and retweet that out. For all my people in the Twitter space, definitely go ahead and retweet that out. And for all my people that's on YouTube, definitely go ahead and share the nice broadcast, like, share, leave a comment. We up in here. This Newstoter space. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and all other platforms that we're on as well too. We got Ely up here, and then we got you, Quadir, as well too. Ely, go ahead. How you doing tonight?
What up,
yeah, you pretty low. Are you on? Do you got a headset on, bro?
No, I got the speakerphone.
Yeah, because you're very, very low. I can't hear you no better, to be honest. You low. You still low, but go ahead, because you're really low, but go ahead. Hey, Ely, is there any way we can maybe we get you to drop down and come back up? Everybody, make sure, because they had updates for your phone, but you're really, really low in the people. Okay, well, yeah, let us get back to you because I could barely hear what you're saying. Quadir, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, Toter? What's going on? Thank you for letting me come up and speak.
What's up?
Family, shout out to Toter. Yeah, I'm about to come in and touch on this topic a little bit. Hey, Uncle Luke is a degenerate crybaby. He's trying to make it all about himself. I know he mentioned Kamala a little bit, but he's really offended about that term tether, and he's making a whole thing about himself. Yes, he did mention Kamala, as I stated before, but he also drew comparisons. He's like, hey, if you're gonna call me a tether, then you be calling Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan tether. Like my man, like you don't compare to them. Like you're not on the same level as them. You've done nothing for the community for you to even think that you can make that or draw that comparison. Is very stupid, selfish, and childish. He is a real problem to the Black community, the foundational Black American community, to be exact. We gotta get him out of here, man. We gotta get him out of here. He's one of those degenerates that puts in no work but expects results as if he's done it. And I'm gonna land there.
All right, thank you, Quadir. Like I say, were you in that space, Quadir? Were you in that extra space?
Yeah, I was in that space for a little bit. Yeah, I was in that space, and all he did was cry. He was drunk. Leaders and people who are on the level of Malcolm X, you would never catch him slipping like that, drunk, addressing the people. The dude's he's a nutcase, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it there.
I heard Luke, and I saw a video that Black Alpha Network posted earlier today, but this dude was making a comparison between the Million Man March and Freaknik. He was basically saying that, that Freaknik was historical, just like the Million Man March, and he was trying to actually draw a comparison between the Million Man March and Freaknik. Now, don't get me wrong, Freaknik is cool. If that's what you want to do or whatever, fine, but there's a huge difference between Freaknik and the Million Man March, and he was trying to make that comparison. Also, it seems, I don't know why he felt the need to drag Minister Farrakhan. And Minister Farrakhan is 90-some years old. Minister Farrakhan has been fighting for Black people for 60-some odd years in this country, maybe 70-some years in this country. So, to actually make that comparison and to actually, talk about Minister Farrakhan, you can't compare Kamala Harris to no Minister Farrakhan. You damn sure can't compare it to no Malcolm X. Both of these people knew exactly who they were and had no issues telling you who they were and had no issues telling you now about white supremacy in America. Kamala Harris was asked before, and she said that America wasn't a racist country. Now, I guarantee if you would have asked Farrakhan and Malcolm X when he was alive, if America was a racist country, he would have had neither one of these gentlemen would have had no issue letting you know that, yes, it's a racist country. It was built on racism and white supremacy. So the fact of the matter that she said this because she's trying to follow the same line as Joe Biden, he also said that, America's not a racist country. America's never racist to white politicians. That's the death blow to say, oh yeah, if you get up there and you're a white politician, I don't give a damn how liberal you are finished if you sit up there and you say that. So to get up here and say that, and to say that, yeah, this is not a racist country when damn well it is, it's a little issue with that. Okay, I see we got my man DJ up in here as well too. So shout out to DJ. I said we got Ray, we got you, Ely. Ely, hopefully your audio's good now. Let me go ahead and get to my man Ray, and then I'll come back to you, Ely.
What's going on, everybody? So I was in that space. Quad there, he was 100% right. It seems like he has an issue with the word tether because he wants it to be defined the way he wants it to be defined. From the way I understand it, the word tether is an action, is what you do that makes you a tether, right? So if you're doing stuff that undermines Black Americans, yes, we're going to look at you sideways. And for him to even try to compare himself to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I feel like it's a slap in the face because that brother has been out here for decades. I first got exposed to Minister Farrakhan, believe it or not, watching In Living Color back in the day. They did a skit about him, and that just kind of sparked my interest, even though I'm not a Muslim. I definitely respect, anyone that has put their life on the line year after year, decade after decade. Like you said, the brother is almost 90 years old. And there is zero comparison between Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, and Luther Campbell. I'll land there.
Absolutely. Ely, go ahead. You got it. How you doing tonight? You there, Ely? I'm not sure if Ely's there. Ely, you still there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you much better. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just us closing the doors. By him saying that, by Luke saying that is the mindset of a lot of immigrants that come here, meaning that they can say, I'm Black American, blah, blah, blah. So we close the doors on these people, you know what I'm saying, for the Tethers. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you go to all these California reparations committees, you go to the Detroit Reparation Committee, they got immigrants on there undermining the process for blacks to get the funding for reparations. And a lot of us, if you went to a black college, you were used to the Africans coming to America. I went to A&M, we saw a lot of Africans coming here saying that they were better than us. This was back in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And now more of us getting in tune with reality and in tune with what we're owed and in tune with justice. Instead of that illusion of inclusion that we made it, we really realized that we didn't make it nowhere other than dying broke. You know what I'm saying? So, that we basically closing the doors, and Luther Campbell actually knows that these doors are about to be closed. Now imagine him doing what he did back in the 90s today. We was like, hey man, we don't want to listen to that garbage stuff. You ain't even black. You know what I'm saying? So you see how the play went down as far as like time, you know what I'm saying, and in the decades and shit. So we're closing doors with all of them, which is good, and one last thing, for our offensive side of this preparation, we're going to have to push a nationwide boycott on all non-black businesses and black individuals. You know what I'm saying? That's going to have to be our threat to these people. We can't just say we're not going to vote. We're going to have to be like, look, we're not going to spend our hard-earned money with you people either, especially these immigrants. And as far as the California thing, the migrants getting houses, now Detroit was selling houses for $1. And these people that came up here and bought these houses, come to find out they got government loans. So they turned $1 house into $100,000 in a matter of months. You know what I'm saying? It's coming to a city near you. So y'all better get prepared. These migrants have turned $1 house into $100,000 in 3 or 4 months. And by them all working together, they got a collective income. So they're going to open up corporations. They're going to open up business. They're going to open up all type of shit. And we got to make a decision where...
Hey, try not to curse, y'all, but go ahead.
We got to make a decision where our kids going to work for us or work for them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't land my plane, bro. I'm done.
They selling houses up there in Detroit, you're saying, for $1, and a bunch of immigrants, you're saying?
If you go to the Detroit Land Bank, you might find one for all the dollar houses gone, but you might find one for $1,000. It might be stripped of copper and everything, but you can turn that $1,000, man, into like a whole $50,000 profit. Like, I'm not gonna even lie to you.
Damn right, damn right. Let me come across a house for $1,000. You can always go ahead and get a hard money loan and rehab that house and flip it, like you said.
And that's the thing, they're giving out rehab loans. It's just crazy. So you get a loan, rehab loan, plus you get government assistance. So you, come on, bro. I'm seeing this shit. Like, what the fuck?
Try not. Hey, Ely, you gotta slow. Yeah, you gotta slow down with the cursor. We streaming this on YouTube.
These people can't even speak English. They got bankrolls overnight. So it's about to go down. So we're gonna have to get on the offensive side now. This Mr. Campbell thing is the offensive side. Like I advise Tariq, I was like, man, don't even argue with that. Don't even get in this space, man. Help me, you know. So that's all I can say, bro.
Real talk. Appreciate that. Here's the thing too about Luther Campbell. Let me give a shout out to Avenge Your Ancestors. Say what's up, Newstoter in the room. B1 first. Shout out to you, Avenge Your Ancestors, and thank you for the actual super chat as well too, brother. I appreciate that. Here's the thing about Luther Campbell. Luther Campbell, as he got older, y'all got to remember too, Luther Campbell no longer is into music, anything like that. He's not really relevant. And the most relevant he is in terms of his name being put out there is from these actual Twitter spaces now. You got somebody at one time that, in the late 80s, early 90s, had a name and rap music, hip hop or whatever. That's gone away. So Luther Campbell now, to a new generation outside of those, for those of us old enough that may have kids and stuff like that, that when we were kids, when he actually came out, most of the kids and most of the youngsters now don't even know who Luther Campbell was outside of, hearing about him in a magazine or clipping or whatever. They hear about Two Live Crew, and then they see Luther Campbell, and you see Luther Campbell in these spaces and stuff like that. And this is the actual, this is the actual notoriety that he's actually getting from these spaces. So Luther Campbell, and it's election time too, Luther Campbell's not going to stop holding these spaces. Luther Campbell, he was trying to get Tariq in there. From my understanding, you had Yvette Carnell in there. You had, I think, Reza Islam came up in there. You had, who else was in there? Tommy Sotomayor, he was up in there as well too. So you had a bunch of big names from what I heard that came up in there.
Yvette Carnell.
Yeah, that's what I say. She was up in there. You had Reza Islam. You had Tommy Sotomayor. So you had an actual space. He was trying to get, I guess, Tariq in there. And the space would have been really, really huge or whatever. But, I don't blame him as well. I wouldn't have came up in this space because you pretty much know when you get a net, he's not going to let you talk. Everybody talk about he was drunk. But here's the thing. Luke always sounds drunk. You don't know whether Luke is sober or not. He's been sounding that way ever since I can remember. He's always sounded like that. So, it's election time. Luke ran for mayor of Miami years and years ago. I heard a little bit of what Tariq was saying about a lot of his artists was talking about him being ripped off, and I've heard things about everything from H-Town to JT Money, Poison Clan, the singer Lorenzo from the early 90s. So you've always heard these mumblings about it, and not even to mention the Two Live Crew of always some shyster deals and stuff going on as well too. A lot of people felt like they never got the actual money they were due. We're actually working with this guy as well too. So, like I said, he's doing what he's doing to stay relevant. He knows that, hey, I can create a buzz right here in these Twitter streets right here on X doing these spaces. We know everybody knows that the Kamala Harris running for president is an ultra hot topic right now. Very, very hot. So, he's doing this thing to go ahead and stay relevant and try to stay up there. And, I look at some of these old tweets that he's talking about from 2016 and 18, 19. He's flip-flopping, he's criticizing the Democrats on one end, and he comes back and he's praising them on another, which there's no problem with criticizing. You can criticize somebody and still support them. But the fact of the matter that you have an issue with, everybody else criticizing the actual policies and stuff. You say basically from these old tweets that they're not going to do anything for black people and this and that or whatever, and they just basically taking the black vote for granted. So now in 2024, when other people say it, what's the issue? If you felt that way 5-6 years ago and even a couple years ago, then what are you talking about? What are you whining about? You felt that way at one time as well too. So now you're over it or whatever. And then another thing too, and I don't know, and I'm in Florida as well too. And good Lord, I get tired of seeing plies up here as well too. And then you starting to use these black men up here to try to go ahead and chastise other black men and tell you that what you ain't doing. And basically they're trying to make you out to be some kind of black woman hater if you don't sit up here and support Kamala Harris. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. And who told you that we had to throw our support behind Kamala Harris or any politician? I'm not going to sit up here and tell any black person that you got to support Kamala Harris or you got to support Donald Trump. You do what you think is best for you. You do who you think is going to be beneficial to you. But I'm not going to sit up here and tell other grown people, and I'm not going to chastise them, and I'm not going to browbeat them. I'm not going to tear them down, sitting up here saying what I think. My personal opinion is that neither one of these political parties is worth a bucket of piss. You know, find what you can in them. To me, they're not either one. And I don't care if people get upset, and they get upset with me when I tell them, I say, there's no difference. Oh, you just sitting up there. No, there's no difference. And I don't want to hear about one was a party of slaves and other. They both was a damn parties of slaves. I don't care who actually championed it first. They both sat up there, and there was plenty of Republicans in the 1800s that had no issue with slavery whatsoever. Plenty of them. So I don't want to sit up here and talk about the data party of this and that and all this other garbage right here. They two peckerwood parties, two redneck parties, two parties that got black people fighting over nigger trinkets. Really, one party has you fighting over nigger trinkets because the other one ain't studying you, to be honest and be real about it. Go ahead, Ray. You got anybody else that wants to speak? Feel free to come on up here as well, too. We got a co-host up in the house. Shout out to my man Original up here as well. Shout out to my girl Dana. I see Dana down there as well, too. So shout out to Miss Dana. I see my girl Val, and I see a bunch of y'all up in here, man. Feel free to go ahead. And like I say, we're not only talking about the thing about the Luke space, we're talking about also the illegals getting homes in Cali. And matter of fact, let me touch up on that real quick. This is from the New York Post. It says California Democrats propose state bill to help illegal immigrants secure first home loans. California Democrats are set to push a bill through the state Senate this week to help immigrants who entered the U.S. illegally secure first-time home buying loans. The bill, introduced by Assemblyman Joaquin Amabula, would grant some undocumented immigrants eligibility to apply to the state's Dream for All home loan program that awards first-time home buyers up to 20% in down payment assistance of no more than $150,000 through a lottery system. The program is currently available to low and middle income first-time home buyers in California. Amabula's bill aims to open it up to tax-paying undocumented immigrants. This bill would specify that an applicant who meets all other requirements for a loan under the program, including but not limited to any requirements imposed on the agency in administrating the program by specific entities, and who is otherwise eligible under applicable federal and state law, should not be disqualified solely based on the applicant's immigration status. Legislation states to be eligible, an undocumented immigrant must have a taxpayer ID number or a social security number, according to the text of the bill. We simply want to be as inclusive as possible within our policies so that all who are paying taxes here in our state were able to qualify. Amabula said this year, according to the California Globe, the legislation could dramatically increase the number of applicants for loans, which reached 18,000 people this year, with just 1,700 chosen through the randomized lottery system, the Globe reported. It has faced fierce criticism from the Republican state lawmakers since it was introduced this year, and now is getting pushed back on the national level as immigration proves to be a flashpoint in the 2024 election. I just can't get behind us using limited dollars for people who are in this country undocumented. Assemblyman Joe Patterson said during a May committee hearing. California's budget deficit continues to grow, and Democratic lawmakers are so out of touch with everyday Californians that they are quite literally taking money away from law-abiding citizens, their own constituents, and handing it over as a free gift to people who broke federal law to cross the border illegally. Senator Brian Jones said. California Governor Gavin Newsom, a top surrogate for President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, has indicated that he hasn't indicated if he will sign the bill into law if it passes. The Democrats who's believed to be a potential running mate for Harris could face backlash on a national level, both aimed at Harris and at himself as he pursues a political career beyond California. So that's where we're at right here. Like I said, I wanted to go ahead and just get that in there real quick as too. Go ahead, Ray, you got it.
Good, brother. I appreciate you passing me the mic again. before. Everyone knows I'm a Navy vet. I've done 5 deployments. I just think it's absolutely horrible that the illegal immigrants are getting a deal that's probably better or equivalent to, something that a veteran would get. And it's just really sad that that's happening in America. Another quick thing, we're 69, 68 days or so away from the election. Right now, if you go on Kamala Harris's official website, they don't even have any policies on there. I'm sorry, I've been running, so I'm a little out of breath. But if you go there, there's not even any official policies. Only thing I've seen on there is a donate link, for you to donate money to them, and there's also like links for you to buy like T-shirts and coffee mugs and things of that nature. But how are we this close to the election and the vice president doesn't have any policies is, kind of, obviously very shocking. We have so many people supporting her, and it seems like, you just really can't reason with them, So I'll leave that on there. And the last thing I'll say is, we can't, the Democrats, man, if they are allowed to get to power and they don't do anything for us, and they're doing all this stuff for these illegal immigrants, that's obviously going to set a very horrible precedent. So we have to be very mindful of that. I was listening to, I think her name was Angela King. She's related to Dr. King. And she said something to the effect of the reason why they won't give black people the same thing they give the illegal immigrants is because basically if they give it to us, then, we're, some of us, going to go out and start businesses, et cetera, and eventually we won't need them. But if they give us just enough that we need, we're going to keep coming back to them every 4 years. So I'll land there. I'll pass the mic.
All right. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. I find it quite interesting. All the illegals need to actually, become eligible for this actual program that they got is just to basically have, basically just to have a, what did they say? They need a social security number and a tax ID. I mean, a tax ID number or a social security number. So I mean, they're not really asking for much. Now I remember when I bought my home, all of the steps and everything that you had to go through, even when you talk about refinancing, all of the headaches and all of the paperwork and all of the non-stuff, this and that, or whatever you got to submit. They got to verify employment. They got to verify what's up in your bank account. They got to verify this and that. They got to look at your debt to credit ratio, all of this other stuff that you got to go through and jump through and this and that or whatever. And we're simplifying the process for people who actually came in the country illegally. I mean, just think about that. We're actually simplifying it, and we're trying to actually, and California is actually trying to get more people on there because what the actual gentleman said, the assemblyman told that basically they're paying taxes. So, buying a house in this country was supposed to be the American dream, but the American dream was actually supposed to be for American citizens. And somehow along the way, that's no longer the case. The American dream is just for anybody that actually, jumps across the border. You don't have to be an American citizen to actually own a home. If you come over here and you're a legal immigrant, that's one thing. You come over here and you're coming into the country illegally, and then we're going to find a way to go ahead and broker things so we can actually make it easy and simplify the process and do everything we can. Meanwhile, we're simplifying the process for you who came here illegally, and somebody else who's been born here their whole life, paid taxes and everything else, you get a chance to cut them in line. I mean, how does this make any sense right here? How does this make any sense? I'm going to go ahead and kick it to my man Original. Y'all feel free. Y'all see the topics. Original, we touching up on everything. We touching up on the Malcolm X and Farrakhan thing. And I want anybody in here too, because I've seen a number of our people online, referring to Minister Farrakhan as a tether as well too. I mean, if you believe that Minister Farrakhan is a tether, feel free to come on up here. We definitely want to hear what you got to say. I've heard people say, well, if you say that this person is a tether, then you got to say Malcolm X is a tether as well too, even though Malcolm X's father was a Black American. So I want to hear what people got to say about this issue as well too. So feel free to come on up here. I definitely want to hear what you guys got to say. We speak on the illegals in California potentially becoming homeowners. Speak on the actual, you can speak on the actual, if you was in that space with Luther Campbell and everything Luther Campbell was saying there as well too. Like I said, because he had an all-star cast, and there he had Yvette Carnell, he had Tommy Sotomayor, he had Reza Islam, he had a bunch of people up in there. From my understanding, he wouldn't let Reza Islam speak either. Like, you know, I don't know if he dropped him or kicked him down or whatever, but you know, I heard that, you know, he was trying to speak, get his point across, and he wasn't allowed to. So, you know, feel free, guys. That's what the space is for tonight. We want to touch multiple topics. Feel free, come on through. Let me go ahead and get to my man Original. Original, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, peace, Black Power, radio space preparation. You know, as far as, you know, Minister Farrakhan being a tether, Minister Farrakhan is not a tether. Minister Farrakhan has spoke up for Black folks when low down and degenerate Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton would not speak up for us. So he was there speaking on our behalf. So they cannot, they're grasping at straws from what I can see. Because the Democrats are mad because they don't know how many of us have dumped their butts. And we're like, well, no, you're doing things for everyone else except for us. Newstoter, you know that lady, what's her name? You can pull up her platform. Lucy McFadden. She's the one where her son was killed down in Florida by the white racists, and she's here in Georgia. Her platform, Newstoter, the first thing she cites in her platforms is gay rights. I mean, it is sickening. And see, let me say this. A person can be what is called an FBA and be a tether. And that's what I see some of these people as. They have failed us, and I do not see myself voting for these people at all. I mean, they are not an option for me. None of them. And as far as all these, let me try to handle this first. Yeah, Malcolm X. None of these people, you cannot call these people a Malcolm X or Mr. Farrakhan. No, you cannot identify them as a tether because they don't have that mentality. They've never been against, to my knowledge, they've never been against Black people. I mean, I saw a photo of Mr. Farrakhan. He was on stage with the two agents, Jesse and Al. He was sitting there as if he had his arms folded across, like he might have been a little cold. And Jesse and Al all hugged up to each other as if they were stating, "We're not with him. You know, we're with each other. We're not with him." And see, and another thing, if it wasn't for Minister Louis Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson would not have done as well as he did when he ran for the White House. Was it 84, 85, or whatever he did? It was Minister Farrakhan who had his members to go and register to vote because they wasn't, big in voting for years, and so he had them to register to vote, and he encouraged them to go out there and vote for the agent Jesse Jackson. But see, this is how, and those two, Jesse and Al, they have turned their backs on that man so many times. It's not even funny. And see, if Minister Farrakhan was a tether, okay, what he would have done, see, y'all remember he came out after Barack got out of the White House. He had a photo of him and Barack together, but he never released it. He only released that photo when Barack was out of office because he knew what them crazy white folks, especially those ones who claimed to be chosen, would have done. He knew what they would do. And so only a tether would release something like that when someone is in office. And he just wanted to show people that, he wasn't trying to destroy anyone. And that's what people need to understand. And as far as, and I want to say this too, people do not refer to Luther Campbell as uncle. Do not use that term. I don't care how he has this his Twitter name set up. Do not call him uncle. When you call someone uncle, that's giving them respect, and you don't want to. You don't want to give that degenerate filth any respect, because he has only brought filth and degeneracy into our culture. And see, people like Luke Campbell, they'll tell you that they're not black. I think he's from. I think it's the Bahamas where he's from, or where his heritage is. They'll tell you they're not black, that they're Jamaican, they're this, they're that. They have never identified with us. See, they have someone to open my eyes and say, 2020 was when we got our eyesight back. 2020 is what? Perfect vision? That's when these tethers from the Caribbean and Africa start holding these spaces, and we were the main topic. So it was that started in 2020. So they gave us our vision back. So we are back on track. And don't feel bad. I mean, when people try to tell you that these people say, why are you using that term tether? Ask them, why do they call us Yankees and Akatas and this, that, and whatever? They have words for us. So now when we return that favor, all of a sudden we're in the wrong. Oh no, we're not in the wrong. And we're not gonna stop. We're done with you. We're gonna do what we have to do to move ourselves forward. And as far as these illegals buying housing, well, Newstoter, they've been doing that for quite some time, where they have been allowing them to buy homes and get other things using a tax ID number. And see, unfortunately, there has been black FBA elected officials on the local, state, and federal level who has gone along with this madness and ignored us. If you go to any of these people platforms that are running for public office, you will see they'll have on there what they're going to do for the illegal aliens. They'll have what they're going to do for any other, the gay folks and anybody else. But when it comes to us, all of a sudden, they can't do anything. And see, we have to let them know we are no longer operating under this minority garbage. That's dead. You don't do that with other people. See, they're giving them benefits under the auspices of being a so-called an immigrant or a migrant or whatever they call them these days. They're still, in my opinion, they are still illegal aliens. And I will always refer to them as an illegal alien. I don't care what anybody says. And we must remember that. And those people that are coming here, they treat black people in their respective country as if they're not human. That's why they have an attitude towards us when they get over here. They already know how to act. And as far as Kamala is what they call back in the day a $2 girl. And for those who don't know, that's a $2 hoe. Okay, that's what she is. And she knows she will not get my vote. That's what was that song? Johnny Taylor said, "Cheaper to keep her." Said it only costs you $2 to bring her home, but it's gonna cost you more than that to get rid of her. See, them brothers back in the day, they didn't lie to us. When they made their music, they did not lie to us. They told us what was going on. And now you see the turn that our music has made. So don't feel bad about Kamala. Stand on your square. Let these people know. And I'm gonna shut down with this Newstoter. I was coming out of a store about 2 or 3 weeks ago. This black boy and this black girl, I'm not gonna call them a man and a woman. They stopped me to ask me if I was registered to vote if I currently dress. I said, yes, I am. I said, but I'm not voting for the Democrats. I said, and the old girl, she just had a fit. She had to walk outside and talk to somebody else. I said, I will not give up my vote and not get anything in return for my demographic. And I told them, I said, now, did you know what Kamala said? She would do anything that would only benefit us? Well, I'm not going to do anything that's only going to benefit her. And I land.
All right. Thank you. Original. Let me go ahead and get to Perfect. I'm going to get to Perfect. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you, Newstoter. Great space as always. To the co-host and to the room. Just a few things. I'm going to piggyback off of what you said, Original. Lucy Macbeth. notice, once they gave her a job, she has not spoken out. We have not heard from her like that. She's very quiet on issues. I'm noticing a lot of times it's like a prerequisite with Black Americans. When your family members get shot and killed by the police, the Democrats are gonna give you a job. You know, because she's a part of the Black Caucus, right? And I'm looking at that, and I mentioned this a couple of months ago with that. And if we notice, they always get jobs to tell us what to do, or to push an agenda, and it's not our agenda. Excuse me. Far as with Kamala, we keep hearing about Black men going in on her and not voting. They're scared to tell the truth about Black women not fooling with her either. So they keep on. That's why they keep doing that AKA. So when we hear AKA, that basically is a code word for Black women, right? But it ain't rolling like that because you're not rolling with her. And if you touch the pulse of the grassroots, you'll understand that. And they're scared to do that because you're going to hear women like myself, women like I see Dana down there talking about stuff. Miss Angie, I see. The only one foul, and we can continue going, sassy, and on and on and on. And we're questioning stuff like you are. And what's happening is they're seeing a consensus between Black men and Black women, Black family, friends, neighbors, about what's going on. And we are in agreement. Like, hold on. They don't have anything for us, and you guys have done a lot of harm to our community. My thing is that what do you have for us here and going forward? And what can you do to fix the issues that you have bestowed on us over the years? That's where we at. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to we get the talent. Talent, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace and love. Y'all hear me well?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. First and foremost, shout out to the host and both of the co-hosts. Appreciate the opportunity to speak in the space, and I'll do my best to keep it brief. Malcolm X, Farrakhan are in Tethers, illegals getting homes in Cali. I want to start with the homes aspect. There's also a program in Oregon that is giving up to $30,000 for home ownership, and the criteria is you cannot be a U.S. citizen. I'll throw that in a purple pill just to showcase that is another area that is looking to give non-American citizens access to federal funds, our taxpayer dollars, so they can find themselves homeowners. I say that to say, just starting there, when it comes to California and what's happening with this migrant crisis, that I do believe that we are in a very, 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 very interesting time. I believe that the writing is on the wall. I do not believe that I don't know, people saying 10 million, 20 million, who knows how many illegals have came to this country. I don't believe that the majority of them will be deported by the Trump administration. I believe that anyone that is immigrant that commits a crime, right, I think that's when it comes to an effect that I believe that those individuals would be deported. But individuals that come to this country that embed themselves in community and continue to move forward, I don't necessarily see the institutional accessibility to kind of go door to door knocking like a census person checking the status of citizenship in every household across this country. So I don't necessarily know how viable a mass deportation is going to look like when it just comes to individuals who have been here illegally. Maybe for those that commit a crime, I do believe so. So I say that to say that these policies are going to continue to be more offensive. We see what they're doing in areas like where I'm at in New York, what they're doing in Chicago. We see the aftermath of what happened in an area like Los Angeles. So the immigration issue is going to be an issue now, no different than it was the white European peasants that came in the 1830s, 1890s, 1920s, 1950s. And now it's just a different type of immigrant that's in this country that that the target is being aimed at. Nobody's talking about the East Indians coming over on the work visas in Silicon Valley. Nobody's talking about the Canadian immigrants who always overstay their work visas. The northern border, the immigration that's coming from Canada to the United States. Some of those Midwestern areas, people are finding ways to Michigan and all of that. So that is going to be a real serious issue that I don't know if we're going to find an answer for in either party. So I do believe that some of the best things that can be weaponized possibly is fighting against sanctuary status, which we see the powers that be have pushed against. It was an effort to do that in New York as well as in Chicago, as well as demanding and fighting for some level of E-Verify and the state.
Hey, hold on, somebody is somebody. I think somebody else's phone might be. Hey, Quadir, is your phone muted up? Quadir. Hey, Quadir. I don't know if Quadir can hear.
Somebody named Mayday on the stage. That's the clown shit.
Who the hell is that?
Your microphone, man.
Who? Hey, who was that speaking? Hey,
That sounds like somebody's listening to another room as well.
I don't know, but I muted it.
That's perfect. Somebody, that's perfect. That's you.
no, that ain't perfect.
No, it's not me.
Okay. Make sure your mic going off and on. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Talent. I'm trying to see who it was speaking, but go ahead, Talent.
No, Quad mic is muted too, though. So we're on him. Huh?
Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, man, what was that? Oh, so I was saying the immigration concern that we have is going to be a serious one. So looking at reform sanctuary status will be important. Finding ways to get E-Verify enforced in our states is going to be another thing. And not believing any of these parties who say that they're going to do something really serious about mass immigration, mainly because it's always been a weapon utilized to dilute our voting power.
Hold on real quick. Talent, not to cut you off, but somebody has an open mic up here speaking while you speaking. I'm trying to figure out who is that.
Hey, no, Talent, do you got other people talking in the background, bro?
Talent, you got anybody talking in the background?
No. Mayday, I don't know. It's like somebody.
That's Mayday.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Mayday, are you coming off your microphone or something? Mayday, are you coming off the mic? Because people saying that you coming off the mic. I can't tell who it is. Okay, here's everybody. Stay on your microphone while people's when somebody's speaking, please. So everybody, go ahead and mute your microphones. Hey, Mayday, go ahead and mute your microphone. Go ahead, Talent.
Got it. Yeah. So that's the concerns that I kind of have with how the conversation around immigration is being toyed with. I don't see the same individuals that are so anti-reparations and anti-us having policies. You know, when you start talking about the the right wing politics, the conservatives. I don't see the same vitriol against us as I'm seeing. I mean, against them as I see against us. An example of that I threw in the Purple Pill, and I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. Doing a Purple Pill, the brother that guy Tim, what is his name? Tim Pool. He put a poll up a couple days ago and said if Trump promised to cut all funding to Ukraine and Israel and end foreign interventions, but would use that money to pay for reparations for the descendants of slaves, would you support it? Out of 133,000 votes, the percentages was 57% said no and 43% said yes. So even amongst the white conservatives, I don't believe that our interests will ever be of a top priority. And them utilizing the conversation about immigration doesn't seem as though they're too energetic about forcefully doing something about it. So I find concern there as it pertains specifically to these policies that will continue to come to house these illegal immigrants, because if they're not going to be mass deported, some systems are going to be created, money is going to be created in order to aiding these people, as we see happening across the country. So yeah. Now, when it comes to Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan and the Luke space, Luke's been crashing out for about a year and a half. I personally believe he got some money from the Democratic Party or somebody connected to the left to get online and to engage with us, specifically with us. I think that these people are very aware of the reparations conversation, delineation, who we are. They're aware that we exist heavily on Twitter Spaces, and we consolidate ourselves in numbers, and we got a bunch of different monikers, but they know we're here. And for some reason, Luke became popping up around heavily leaning for the Democrats a year and a half ago. He never came bipartisan. He never came just, hey, I just happened to stumble across Twitter and I would engage Black people. He came in already leaning heavily on the Democratic side, and people have unearthed some of his old tweets. So he went from where he was before to where he is now. And I think what he's utilizing is the legacy of individuals who put a tremendous amount of work in for Black people as some type of shield to get us to buy into Kamala Harris, misrepresenting her legacy as if she, as a attorney general or senator, whatever role she had in California, went all out to protect and provide and help and uplift our community. And I think that he's fraudulent with even comparing her to a Louis Farrakhan, who to this day calls out the white dominant structure, also calls out the small hat Jew. And I think he's made a lifelong legacy of standing on the right side of history, demanding economic and social change for our community. And Malcolm X is a Negro, right? His dad is from this country. So anybody trying to say that he's a Tether, not acknowledging his dad is just all. So I just think that it's a nasty word. And I'm going to lay it here. The writing is on the wall. People have chosen their side, and we can kind of really see clear as day who's paid, who's shilling on either side, and who's really just genuinely for our people and just believe that they can use politics to move us in a positive way. But I do believe that the power is going to rest upon us to do things on a local, state, and federal level. And neither one of these parties would truly bend towards giving us anything specifically for us in our land.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Trance, I'm gonna get to you, but Mayday, you up here. I don't know if your mic was muted or unmuted, but did you want to say something? Hey, Mayday, do you want to say something? Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Mayday, is there anything you want to say? No, okay. Mayday must be.
I think he is trying to speak. I'm gonna just remove you, Mayday, because I see your mic moving, but you ain't saying nothing. So just fix your phone and come back up here, man. Go ahead, talk.
Let me go ahead and get to Trance. Trance, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. Hey guys. I just came on here just to say thank you for letting me talk in your space, and then also I just wanted to touch on something and so I think sorry, this person, but thinking what you call it. Okay, I'll come back. Sorry.
You straight? You straight? You straight? Did you want to come back? Are you okay, Trans? You want to talk, or you going to come back, or what? I couldn't hear the last part of what you said. All righty. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but we'll move on. Trance is having some issues, the microphone or whatever, but we will come back to you, Trance. Let me go ahead and see. Mayday, you're up here. Did you want to speak, Mayday? Okay, I don't think Mayday wants to speak, so let us move forward.
I told her I think you might be having some problem because he coming off the mic but can't say anything.
Mayday, you may have to update your phone. They had updates today. I know on Android, so you may want to go ahead and go to the what is it, the Google store or whatever store it is. I forgot.
Yeah, the Google store. Yeah, if you got an Android, you would need to go to the Google store. If you have that old whatever they call it, the iPhone, you have to go to the Apple store.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you see any updates, y'all, you need to update those update the app now, or else you're going to have issues in this space.
Yeah, real talk. I see we got Ben Israel up here. Israel, did you want to say something? I know you're up here as well too. We got Black Pressure up here. So what's up, Pressure as well too? Israel, did you want to say something? You're up in the speaker section. I'm not sure if you're in the actual space right now, but I know sometimes you have an issue with the actual hand raising a hand in here with the icon. So if you want to say something, definitely go ahead. Okay, I don't think Israel's there. So some of our people, I think.
Yeah, told her something going on with the space, man.
DJ, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. It's just these folks check your phone. You know what it is. And I'm outside. I ain't even on the Wi-Fi.
Okay. I just wanted to.
Update y'all phones. Just start y'all phones, man. Let's go.
Hey, because I had to restart this space before because I couldn't get in, so I had to restart this space one time. So I didn't know if everybody may be having some issues. We got people. It's a.
We just had the issues earlier.
Yeah, I was having issues earlier, but can you hear me, Quadir? Quadir, can you hear me?
Y'all can't hear me, can you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you too.
Okay, I guess I had to restart my mic. Yeah, I apologize for that.
Okay, who is that? Mayday speaking?
Yeah, this is Lady.
All right, Mayday, go ahead.
Yeah, apologies for that. But no, I just wanted to touch base with you. You know, I'm from mine. Right now, I just see it as, you know, Uncle Luke, if anybody from Florida, anybody knows the history, he's the equivalent to like Dade County Diddy. So, you know, he has a slew of allegations against him with black history, with his wife, daughter, etc. And mistreating black women. And I think right now he's buying himself some favors, you know, because he's come under recent scrutiny. I don't think it's made national news. And then he also has, I don't think he's pledged, but he has affiliations and ties with these fraternities and boule. So yeah, I think that's just it implies right now they're trying to. I think this is more of a rebranding process. They're going to rebranding stage in their career because it could have been 4 years ago or more. None of these guys were speaking like this for the Democratic Party. I don't know if they got incentives because Florida, it's not really defined as a swing state, but it could go any way. I don't know if they're trying to buy some extra votes.
No way is Kamala Harris gonna win Florida. We know that. No way.
Yeah, I know that. I just don't know what their incentive. This energy is coming out of nowhere, especially with Plies. You know, I don't know what to say, but as far as, you know, Luke comparing himself to Farrakhan, you know, nah, we already know that's Tom. I think, yeah, like what the gentleman was saying earlier, he's trying to. I don't know which one of you was saying it, but yeah, he's probably just trying to get some clout off of this, man, because Uncle Luke is his money is running a little dry, right? So. That's basically what I see it as. As far as the illegals getting those tangibles, as far as the housing, you know, loans, etc. Yeah, that should just give FBAs more incentive not to vote. Not just FBAs, but practically really anybody, you know, who's been in this country or who immigrated here legally. That should give you more incentive not to vote, you know, left. But yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody how to vote.
Therefore, I land my plane right there.
All right, appreciate that. It's funny because I'm seeing a lot of comments. I saw comments on YouTube and I saw comments even on X over here, Twitter, and people were saying that they're saying that Kamala Harris, she supports reparations. She supports reparations.
We can't hear you.
Who can't hear me? Who's speaking? Y'all can't hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you.
It must be one of y'all phones. I'm not. Yeah, somebody whoever said it, y'all might have to drop down or something. Was that you, Mayday? Okay, I don't know what's up with the space, but yeah, and damn, I just forgot what I was saying too as well too. Like, damn. Oh yeah, people were talking about Kamala Harris. She supports reparations. Yeah, they talk about Kamala supports reparations. She supports reparations. Okay, FAA say she will. Let me stop right what I was saying. She will win Florida because those ex-Trump supporters are rallying for Harris in droves. They are afraid of Medicaid and Social Security benefits getting erased. No, you do some research. And matter of fact, FAA, you do some research and you name all of the Democratic candidates who won Florida in the past 60 years. You do some research. I've been living in Florida my whole life. You do some research about all the Democratic candidates who won Florida in the past 50 years since Kennedy. Since Kennedy, let's see about that. No, she's not going to win Florida. People in the whole Medicare, Social Security stuff getting erased. They've been saying this since I was damn 12 years old. They've been saying the same thing every year. Oh, they're going to wipe out Social Security. Oh, they're going to get rid of Medicaid. And it's still here. They've been saying it since I was 12 years old that it's going to be wiped out. No, she's not. And Hillary Clinton didn't win Florida either. Let's see her win Florida. Let's see how many people actually win Florida, please. Nobody. I put money on it that she don't win Florida. I put any amount of money on it that you want that she don't win Florida. Not only is she not going to win Florida, she's going to get beat pretty decent in Florida as well too. Now, I ain't no Trump supporter and I ain't no Kamala supporter either. And that's the problem with a lot of black people right here, that if you don't support Kamala Harris, you got to be a Trump supporter. Well, let me tell you something. In the 2020 election, I voted, I participated, and I didn't vote for Biden, and I didn't vote for Trump either. And guess what? When this election comes, I'm going to participate again, and I'm not going to vote for Trump, and I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris either. Now, if you want to vote for her, fine. If anybody else in here wants to vote for her, fine as well too. But I'm not going to vote for her. And that's the thing. You got a lot of black people up here, and I think some of this stuff goes back to when we was raised as kids and stuff like that. Because I can remember being kids, and you had older cousins and people in the neighborhood. Oh yeah, well, black people, we Democrats. Well, I'm me, straight up. I voted Democrat most of my adult life. The last election was the first election that I didn't vote Democrat. So no, I'm not just jumping on board and voting Democrat. I'm not just jumping on board voting for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump either. Donald Trump gets up and he says what he's going to do that's going to help black people. I'm willing to listen. But then again, too, let's be for real. Politicians say a lot of things that they're going to do and don't actually follow up on those actual promises as well, too. So, no, we that's the thing. People are sitting up here, and if you don't vote Democrat, and especially this has been the biggest this election right here has been the biggest shaming of black men in history, and it ain't done yet. It's not even remotely done. When she loses the election, it's going to be such a pushback and just kicking rocks on black men. It's going to be unbelievable. Everybody's going to blame black men for when she loses. Watch and see. Oh, if y'all had got out there, if y'all didn't protect black women, it's going to be stuff like that you're going to be hearing. Y'all didn't protect black women. It's going to be that. Go ahead, Perfect. You got it. Go ahead. You got it.
Okay, thank you. I'll be quick. It's funny that you said that a lot of black Americans, once we tell them that we're not voting for Kamala, that they do go and say, hey, so you must be a Trump supporter. My thing is this. So what? So what? We have never told them, so what? If I am, so what? It's like they run and they go motel and they're going to get you in trouble. They're going to get your job taken. They're going to get this Newstoter stuff removed and all this stuff. So what? We can do what we want to do. And if I don't go for what you're telling me to go for, which is the Democratic Party, you're going to go tell on me. You know, when you go tell on me, it's going to mess up my money, me moving forward and everything else. I'm a coon. I'm a hater. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can use that word, but I'm this, I'm that, and everything else. We have always, like you said, voted as a block. And now that you said, hey, I'm good on this, I'm not about to go that route. It's like, I'm going to go tell on you. Watch what happened. I see her. And then usually, and I hate to say this, and we're going to see this a lot more too, Black Americans crash out for the Democratic Party. They get themselves set up and killed. I hate to say that, they get themselves set up and their jobs too. They be the one like, girl, let me see them ballots. I'll show you what I do with them. I'm going to throw them away. Shit like that. We always have. That's what we're seeing in Georgia.
Try not to curse, sweetie, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. That's what we're seeing in Georgia. You know, them doing little sneaky things, taking ballots, putting their life on the line for the Democratic Party, right? So they're getting in trouble for stuff like this. But I ain't trying to say it like that. It has strings since we were younger. What I heard when I went to go vote for, what's that man's name? Oh gosh, Obama. It's just vote everybody out, put all Democrat, no matter who it is. We don't know nothing about these folks. We didn't know, and I'm landed here. This is the real deal. We didn't really know nothing about Biden like that. But remember, that was Trump's VP. Just put him on there. That's who we voted. It was immature, premature thinking, and that's just what it is. And we're doing it again. And last but not least, Black American women, we're riding, you know, totally different. They keep trying to use us, and we're not going for that stuff. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I see we got us a jigaboo over here on the YouTube section up here, sitting up here saying that we're traitors. We're traitors to our race, Black MAGA. So we got us a jigaboo. We got us a magpie over here. We got us. I'm hearing mammy vibes. I'm hearing bed winch vibes. I'm hearing belly warmer vibes as well too. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of magpie talk coming out your mouth, FAA. If you want to sit over there and you want to go ahead and bounce on the lap of your zaddy, I mean, by all means, go ahead. Nobody's telling you. I'm not telling you who to vote for, who not to vote for. But you sitting up here, you sound like one of them Negroes that's scared to jump off the porch. You sound really, really, really. I'm assuming that you're a Black woman. You may be a Black man. I don't know. Whatever you are, though, I'm just hearing a lot of jigaboo talk from you right now. And it's jigaboo talk. Make no mistake about it. You sitting up here and all of a sudden you run into a party and not only that, but the man that was the president, you talking about how, I mean, do you know the kind of policies that Joe Biden put down? Oh, you're a conscious Black man. Okay. You're not a conscious Black man. You sound like a Sambo. That's what you sound like. You're not a conscious Black man. Because if you was a conscious Black man, you sit up here and you look at some of the policies that Joe Biden set up here and that he championed. You hear some of the rhetoric that Joe Biden was sitting up here talking about Black people being basically almost like animals and stuff like that when it was time to desegregate them schools and stuff like that. How many Black fathers he threw up in jail with his jacked up crime bills, you know, sentencing Black men, the disparity between crack and cocaine. And now you sitting up here and you want to talk about you a conscious Black man. You ain't conscious in the least bit. You sitting up here just like a lot of these other Negroes that's on TV up here trying to tie yourself to whiteness as much as possible. Well, you're never going to be white. You can sit up here, you can vote all you want to Democrat, and they can sit up here and play this liberal game with you. But at the end of the day, they're no damn different than their Republican counterparts. So you sitting up here, you don't hate no damn Democrats. You want to be as close and tied up to them as possible. You're sitting up here popping off, talking nonsense about Black MAGA. Like I say, I've never in my life voted for a Republican president candidate ever. Never voted for a Republican governor candidate here in Florida. So don't sit up here and sit up here and tell us that it's a big difference between Biden and Trump or whatever. All of a sudden, it's funny to me. Like Joe Biden could come into a lot of these black people's house and piss on the floor, and they won't say anything about it. Anything that he says, no matter how nasty it is towards black people, they sit up there and they just sat up there and told you that you ain't black if you don't vote for him. He sat up there and told you they was gonna put you back in chains. He done said all kind of dumb stuff his entire career about black people and whatnot. And then these Negroes sit up here, and if it was reversed and that was a white Republican saying the same thing that he was saying, they be up here with picket signs and everything else like that as well, too. And they sitting up here, and you sitting up here championing it. Please. The only one that sounds dumb is you, nigga. You can take your dumb ass elsewhere, too, if you don't like the broadcast. Ain't nobody forcing you or twisting your arm to stay up in here. Go to one of your Klan rallies, be the black mascot, put on your monkey suit, and go stretch your stuff. Okay, Jigaboo? Nobody wants to hear all of that dumb stuff that you talking about.
Newstoter, I'm curious as to why he's, I guess on YouTube he's gonna come in.
Yeah, he comes up in there. If he comes up in here, he can get on this microphone, but he don't want to sit up there. He wants to sit over there and sit up here and talk about somebody lame. Only thing lame is your daddy. Okay. Your daddy really ain't your daddy. The damn milkman is your daddy. Your daddy couldn't get it up because they ain't have Viagra back in the day. That's who you need to go find. Go have Maury conduct one of those damn paternity tests and find out where your daddy is, nigga, because you ain't got no balls sitting up here talking stupid. Like I said, you can come on over here to Twitter and get in this space right here. And you can come over here and get this work that you'll get handled with. Sitting up here. You ain't nothing but Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, a do-boy. They flunky. Go ahead, Professor. You got it. Yeah, FAA, bring your dumb ass over here. Bring your dumb ass over here to Twitter and see what's up. Go ahead, Professor.
Yeah, what's up, that Newstoter, brother Newstoter, to my brother WPI, my brother Original, my brother Gray right there. Sister, I see Sister Dana up in here. My brother Black Majority up in the house. They here down there. Mother, no taxation, y'all. Sister, no taxation. She up in here. So, and I see you down there, Sister Val, Sister Trouble down there. She ain't causing no trouble right now. And then there's Sister Goddess Michelle. Y'all, let me just tell you, when it comes to Luke and any of these tethers, especially Luke, as far as I'm concerned, he's banned in the USA. As far as I'm concerned, because I don't listen to nothing he has to say. All he has done is come up in our spaces, trying to sell us on this Democratic BS, and our people are tired of this mess. Okay, and as far as them trying to do this comparison with Malcolm and Louis Farrakhan, there is no comparison. Brother Malcolm and Brother Louis Farrakhan are men that have high standards, men that have stood up and said things related to our issues that concern us that we need to do to fix those issues, okay? They have stood up for our rights and stood up against people that talk down to us, but that's not going to be Luke. Luke don't stand up for us. Luke wants us to sell our souls to the Democratic Party. That's what he talks. And if you want to listen to that, then so be it. But for all of us that are listening to these Democratic shields, we know what they all about. We know that they only trying to sell themselves for the money. That's what it's all about. These folks are selling themselves for that money. Luke is only about himself. Plies is only about himself. He is not about black people. He is not about black Americans in particular. Okay? So I don't like listening to these celebrities on anything. Okay? And we shouldn't. If you listen to them, let it go out your damn ear. Because they ain't talking about nothing that's going to benefit us. These celebrities are not doing anything to show that they're about our needs. Okay, so don't listen to them. Luke cannot compare himself to nobody like a Malcolm X or Louis Farrakhan. He's nowhere near that. Okay? Luke needs to just shut up, and like I said, he's banned from the USA, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm gonna land right there.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Hey, Nightfall, I'm not sure how to do it while the space is on, but yeah, I need to go ahead and make you a mod over there as well, too. So definitely, I definitely need to go ahead and do that. I'm not sure who was next, Ray or Perfect, but Ray, go ahead and we'll get to you, Perfect.
I just raised my hand, so it's got to be the other person.
Okay, go ahead, Perfect.
No, I'm just gonna be very quick. I just want to say I'm super proud of Black Americans, man. To see y'all thinking freely, or not y'all, because I'm a part of Black America too. But to see us thinking freely the way we're thinking, you know, man, that means a lot. To see what's going on. Look, I know if I am in awe, I know we got everybody shook. Because usually we just go, it's not tunnel vision, right? And we just maneuver in one way. And to see us do what we're doing, man, that stuff means a lot. I'm dropping down. Thank you.
Thank you, Perfect. Let me be blunt right here. We don't owe any party a damn thing. We don't owe these people nothing. Really, truthfully, we want to be honest. Only thing we owe people really is a good behind whooping. Anything else, we don't owe them a damn thing up here. And that's Democrat, that's Republican, that's Independent, that was the Whig, that was the Federalist, that's all of these dumbasses. We don't owe them anything whatsoever. Everything that we done for this country, and please, this wouldn't be a country if it wasn't for us. People sitting up here and acting like these people are our damn long lost relatives or something like that, because they sit up here election time, they put on a little music, throw a barbecue, and y'all sitting up here doing a Cabbage Patch with them like it was 1988 or something. Man, go elsewhere with that nonsense. You know, these people a damn thing whatsoever. Ray, go ahead, you got it.
Appreciate it, brother. And I wanted to mention this, even though it's somewhat related to the space. So I don't know if people heard this, but TMZ actually published that Beyonce was going to be performing at the fourth or third night of the DNC. So I believe that's why that many people showed up, because they were expecting to see Beyonce. And then at the end, when Beyonce did show up, I noticed that D.L. Hughley, he actually posted, well, the DNC, they got all these great ratings. Well, duh, of course they got these great ratings, because at the same time, people were waiting to see Beyonce show up. I mean, they thought they were getting a free concert. And if you actually look, they were, Bruno Mars performing, Little John, they had Kenan Thompson from All That, and I think he's on like Saturday Night Live. It was just a big old plantation jubilee. That's what I've really seen it as. And since we're talking about Brother Malcolm, I've seen this quote that I want to read. It's one or two quotes, and I won't be long with it. But Brother Malcolm, this was in the 60s. He said, there are 257 who are Democrat, only 177 who are only 177 are Republican. In the Senate, there are 67 Democrats and 33 Republicans. The party that you back controls 2/3 of the Senate, and they still can't keep their promises because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that they made you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around and continue to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you are a traitor to your race. And one more that I wanted to read. Malcolm X said that we won't organize any black man or woman to be a Democrat or Republican, because both of them are sold us out. Both of them have sold us out. Both parties are racist, and the Democrat Party is more racist than the Republican Party. And I land there.
All right. Thank you, Ray. Let me give a shout out real quick to Nightfall for his contribution on Cash App. I see we got Sister Sean up in here as well, too. Sister Sean, I don't know, were you in that space, that Luke space that he had trying to get Tariq Nasheed in there, and they had a bunch of other people in there as well, too?
No, I was not in the space, but I re-listened to the space the next day, and I had some commentary. And the same commentary I was going to give to your space if it's my turn.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I missed that last part. What did you say?
So here's my on what I listened to. Let's answer the question directly. Malcolm X, Farrakhan, and then let me just add, Rizza, Islam, are not tethers. There's a misconception when we use the word tether. The word tether is equivalent in our vernacular as a sambo. A tether is generally a trader. It's somebody that's coming over here from another country, and it doesn't necessarily be exclusive to Africans. It could be an African, it could be a Mexican, an Afghani, a Ukrainian. They're all tethering when it comes to us because we're not immigrants. This is what I want our people to understand. We did not migrate. We did not immigrate to this country. We were here by force. And based on that we have seniority over every other group. And every other group cannot even call themselves an American because they're all immigrants. So now let's get back to this little thing that Luke telling you what he tried to do was game. All right? It's a game. What he tried to do was he tried to bait. It was a bait space. He tried to bait Tariq Nasheed. He tried to bait Rizza Islam. And he tried to bait Yvette Carnell because she threw herself up in the paint. She came from I don't know where. But overall, what Luke intended to do is to get them to be on record, to try to make the word tether as some sort of derogatory name. You got to be careful of that because next thing you know, they're going to equate it to a terrorist name, just like they're trying to do from the river to the sea. So I was very, very happy that they did not take that bait. So now I'm going to be out here on these spaces. A tether is a trader. A tether is a sambo. It's not that. It's nothing terroristic behind that name. That's what they're trying to formulate. Think about it, people. And what he did was he acted stupid and drunk. But trust me, I don't believe he's stupid and drunk. He's got people behind him. He tried to bait these people into these spaces. And because he just sat down with giggles, that's who I call her, Kamala Harris. He just sat down with giggles. So anything you say to him is going up to the upper Washington, D.C. room. And he wanted to cave them. He wanted them to fold. He wanted them to say the wrong thing. And they used that word tether to be able to bring our people down. Let me just say I'm so proud they didn't fall for the game. Rizza didn't fall for it. Tariq didn't fall for it. And even though Yvette came out the damn northwest wing, I don't know where she come from. She ain't even on Twitter Spaces, but she didn't even fall for it. That was a Democratic game to shut down the black media and the black voices. I am for all voices. But what I'm proud of, they did not allow that Democratic shield to shut them down. Now, let's get a little bit deeper. Because they were looking for a snip or a clip. Because if they would have said a tether, that's why he kept baiting if I listened to it. Oh, well, you mean if everybody y'all walk into the school and all black children, what are you going to call them? Are you going to call them a tether? That's bait. Then he said, oh, what you going to do about Minister Louis Farrakhan? He's half Jamaican. Is he a tether? All he was looking for somebody to say yes. They didn't fall for it. That's not what a tether means. A tether means, and I'm going to stand down on that word, but the tether means is no, you can come from anywhere in this country, but if you're coming in here and if you're undermining us, if you're undermining the Negro, if you're undermining the freedmen, if you're undermining our reparations, if you're undermining our restitution, if you're undermining our repair, then you a goddamn tether. You ain't got. You can be from any place in the goddamn world, because we're dealing with all of it with this open border. We got Ukrainian tethered, we got African tethered, we got Mexican tethered, we've got Afghani tethered, we've got Caribbean tethered. If the shoe fits, fucking wear it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I done told y'all about the language. Now we dropped the A-bomb is cool, but the F-bombs, let's not do no F-bombs in here. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I forgot. I apologize. I call this the dry space.
You finished? You got anything else?
No, I don't. I think I've made my point. So what the point is, do not be very, very careful of what they're doing. Understand, do not allow them to take this word tether. If they will take this word tether, you guys got to think deep. It's going to be the equivalent like they're trying to make from the river to the sea. Like they're going to criminalize the word. And it's not a criminalization type of word. It is the equivalent of what we understand as a Sambo. And basically, it's just mean you're undermining the indigenous people. You're undermining the Negro. You're undermining the freedmen. You're undermining the people who've been already here. You are a tether. You are literally coming to a country that you have nothing to do with. You weren't part of its foundation. And you did not build. And we welcome you, but when you come in an aggressive and undermining way, then you are a tether. Other than that, we welcome everybody if you're about building and advancing this country. Other than that, if you are an immigrant, which all of them are, we are not immigrants. We are not immigrants. We are indigenous. That's what I want my people to know. And push back. Take my golden nuggets and do with it what you will. And I'll fold my chair.
All right, thank you, Sister Sean. I wish, because DJ Big A, he left a comment. I wish I could get DJ Big A, because he said that Farrakhan is a Caribbean speaking for Black Americans. He's a tether. I was trying to see if I could get him to come up in the actual room and just kind of clarify why does he feel that way about Farrakhan, but he's not. I don't see him. I don't see him anywhere in the space, so I can't get him up. But I just want to see why exactly did he feel that way about Farrakhan, because I don't know anything that Farrakhan's done in terms of exploiting the Black community or hurting them in any type of way. I don't really know how you could consider Farrakhan a tether, so to speak, or whatever. The man's been over here. Let's not forget. I mean, the man's been over here. I don't know exactly how old Farrakhan was when he came to America. I don't even know if Farrakhan was born in America. I'm not even sure if he was born in America. I know he has Caribbean parents, but I don't know anything that Farrakhan has done, that has been, detrimental to Black people. If you go ahead and you take Farrakhan's Caribbean lineage away and you tie it to American lineage, I think most people that's called him a tether would be proud of him. So I'm just trying to see exactly what has Farrakhan done, to really get the actual the criticism of so many people. I know with Malcolm X, people, they kind of say they go back and forth and stuff like that and say, well, he's this, he's that, whatever. He's half Caribbean, he's half American or whatever. But with the Farrakhan, he definitely gets a lot of hate. And I'm not gonna say a lot of hate, but he gets a significant amount of hate from people that say, hey, you know what, he shouldn't be speaking on issues. But hey, the man's been speaking on issues for probably about 70 some years in this country, pertaining to Black people, and actually going out doing stuff, building as well too. Farrakhan is built, in the black community and everything else, whether you're a fan of him or not or whatever, whether you agree with everything he says, whether there's some things he says that really, upset you, whatever, he has been active in the actual black community as well, too. So, I don't know. I just, like I said, I would like to, and I like to hear people's, point of view on that. I look at Farrakhan, growing up, and we weren't Muslims or anything like that, but everybody in my family knew Farrakhan, and for the most part, they respected him. They didn't agree with 100% of what he said or whatever. But when Farrakhan, even as a kid, I remember being him coming on C-SPAN and different little cable networks and outlets. Not to mention, I think Phil Donahue and other people as well too. When Farrakhan came on, our family would actually watch and see exactly what he had to say and stuff like that. We didn't have an issue with Farrakhan. Of course, for those of us that's old enough to remember, a lot of us were teenagers. Some of us may have been in our early 20s. I know I was a teenager when they had the Million Man March back in the 90s. I tuned in to see exactly what was what. So, like I said, I have never had the issue, but I do want to hear if anybody feels that, he's this or he's that or whatever. I just want to, besides him not being born, quote unquote, into the freedman lineage, or whatever you want to say, a black American descendant of chattel slavery, exactly why do you consider him an actual tether? I just kind of want to see exactly where everybody's opinion on that is, because like I say, for the most part, like I say, nobody's perfect, but I haven't really had any major criticism of him. He's challenged. He's stood up against the establishment many times. Many times he stood up against the establishment. I mean, I really don't know, but it'd be interesting to hear a varying point of view, because most people that came up, everybody in fact that came up with it had positive things to say about Minister Farrakhan. So I want to hear somebody that may not exactly dig Farrakhan, and then too, like, is it his stances in terms of his political stances, or what don't you dig about him? Or is it just simple the fact that, hey, he is not of the lineage, so to speak, is why you have an issue with Farrakhan? Let me go ahead and get to I don't know. I'm not sure if it was Ray or Perfect. We ain't gonna keep the space going open too much longer, guys. So for those that want to speak, I see no taxation. Whenever you want to speak, just raise your hand. Brother Moku, I see you up here as well too. We ain't gonna go on too much longer, but I'm trying to get in those who want to speak. We'll go ahead and we'll get you up here. Go ahead, Ray, and then we'll get to Perfect.
Appreciate your news, Total. I'm gonna be very, very quick. So I am not calling Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan tether, but if people consider him one, give me 100,000 people like that, because that brother has been a true rider. So I definitely say that. The second thing I want to say that I just found out, our sister, I hope I say this right, Alicia Bonds, she's actually running for governor in 2025. She's always in Newstoter space. That is a ride or die sister, and I'm going to throw my support behind her 110% in any way that I can make that happen. And then the last thing I want to say is I actually kind of looked up this word tether. Granted, it is in the Urban Dictionary, but I tend to agree with this. It says that a tether is a term that is used by members of the American Negro ethnic group, referred to later in history as colored, African American, Black, FBA, ADOS, etc., to describe Africans and or Caribbean immigrants who moved to America for economic opportunities, using the benefits of the American Negro civil rights struggle while simultaneously disparaging the history, legacy, and lineage of the Negro American movement. I agree with that 100%. I know, obviously, Uncle Luke, he wasn't trying to hear that. He wanted to frame the word tether for his argument to try to say that black people were against the minister, which 100% is and wasn't the case. But I'm sorry, I just wanted to put that out on my man right there.
All right, appreciate that, Ray. Let me go ahead and get to Perfect. Perfect, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, just a few things. First thing, when it comes to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I'm familiar with him. I know he's been around for a moment. I know he's put in work as well. I know that he's not us. Tether, I don't know if I would call him that, but also too, it seems like everybody's scared to either speak about him or question him on things. like our lineage and stuff, and where does he stand with that, right? It's like, hey, he's God. You don't ask for nothing like that. He put in work. Leave him alone. Which, okay, that's fine. But we're in a new day and a new time where are you our ally? Where do you stand on these things right here, right? And that's not going to take away from what you have done. So if we do ask you where do you stand when it comes to lineage-based reparations and us delineating in this area or this arena to be able to do what we have to do as a lineage to get where we have to go and the things that we need, I feel like, we should question him and anybody else, right? And, excuse me, including our own folks.
What question would you like to ask him though, Perfect?
I don't have any questions I would like to ask, but if it did come up, right? Because I ain't gonna say no. I mean, I know of the man. I know of the minister like that, but I really don't. So if something was to come up, I feel like there's nothing wrong with us speaking with him about those things or anybody else, right? So I'm just saying, if we came up with lineage-based reparations, right, and we wanted to talk to him about that, then I don't see a problem with us questioning him about those things or anything else, but with due respect, right? So let me make sure I put that out there, not being disrespectful or anything like that, but just putting it out there. So that's how I feel. Like I said, I don't really know the minister like that. And the next thing I was going to speak on, was when Sister Sean said that Yvette came out of nowhere and she hasn't been doing spaces or holding spaces. She has been holding spaces, and also two other Black Americans. Sometimes she come in their rooms as well. The reason why she came on stage is because Uncle Shut Up, as always. He's talking about, he felt a certain way about Uncle Luke bringing him up on stage. He said, "Why you bring me up here questioning me? You got some heavy hitters down there." I didn't know she was in the room. I didn't know RZA or any of the others was in the room either. That's when he was like, "Hey, Yvette Cornell down there in the listeners section, RZA," and he named, I think, another person as well. Bring them up. But Luke was, kind of going crazy, and it took him like 2 or 3 minutes. Then he finally threw them all a mic, and they all actually accepted that mic. And that's how that rolled out.
All right. Thank you. Perfect. Go ahead, Sister Sean, and then we'll get to Ray.
Yeah, just very quickly. I think what I want to put on just a high level thinking, the purpose of that space was to create a beef. Okay? To create a beef with our brothers and sisters by invoking the name of Malcolm X and Farrakhan. I don't want anybody to forget that. Okay? They don't have anything to do with what's going on with our delineation. Luke is using that for a purposeful beef. Okay? He used those two names just like he used Tariq's name. Please don't forget that. And if I want to talk about Farrakhan, from my understanding, is that the reason why Farrakhan isn't a tether, even if he has these multiple lineage with Jamaica, is because he has demonstrated, along with Malcolm X, that he is for quote-unquote Black people. He has not reversed himself. He has demonstrated himself far more than Luke Campbell has. He has demonstrated himself, although he is Islamic, he has done far more for the Black man and Black woman than Luke Campbell. So Luke can really go Luke himself. I can't cuss on you because this is, I can get in. But I need us to fundamentally understand that. And then it's deeper than that. A lot of the younger people look Farrakhan, Islam, they look at it at the surface level. But this stuff is deep. It's really deep to things that you may not understand. And it comes to who is, he's protecting us, although he's Islam. Okay? But it's a very deep religious thing. So who is Judah? He's fighting the people who are the enemies of Judah. It's a religious thing as well than a political thing. So if you understand what I said, you understand. And he's protecting Judah. So let's not let Luke, somebody, this guy is like minuscule. Who the hell are you? You're nothing compared to Farrakhan, compared to Malcolm X. There's no comparison. And for you to even try to invoke our leaders, our people, for years, decades, to a 2 Live crew of me so horny, infidel, somebody who did nothing but regurgitate filth in our community. Filth of me so, titties, ass, all of it. For you to equate yourself, whether you're a Christian or whatever you are, to my minister Farrakhan, and I ain't even a Muslim, but he mine. I don't care, I ain't a Muslim, but Farrakhan is mine. Because Farrakhan is working for the black man. Farrakhan is working for the Negro. He understands Negro land. Farrakhan is working for the freedom. And Malcolm X, you can get the way hell out of here. There is no comparison. And it's an ultimate disrespect. This dude needs to be canceled immediately. I don't know what books he's been reading. The reason why, back to the conversation, because he's a damn tether. The tethers do not understand our pain. They don't understand our story. They don't understand our pathways. And they don't understand our plight. And they don't understand how we can still be connected with Islam and be who we are. But you ain't coming across that little from down Florida over there with your colonized mind. That's a colonized like that. He's still up under Britain. He ain't got really shit up to do with it. You need to holler at Britain if you want some reparations. You got Farrakhan. So you all up over here trying to disrupt and sabotage what we're doing in our advancement, in our movement, to get repair and restitution for our people with some bullshit. And you're throwing this bone like we gonna chew that stuff. And all I'm saying is I'm glad that we ain't chewing it. And I already gave you 1 million reasons why you should. That's all it is. He's a tether. That's why we have the word. That is the type of person to come in to try to put strikes out against Malcolm X, strike out against Farrakhan, you striking out against Rizza, and you striking out against Tariq. These are, first of all, we have historical people, and we have people in the present day who are speaking for our people. You are not our friend. That is not how a friend behaves. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. You are striking our people in the past and in the present. Rizza and Tariq are our people and our voices in the present, whether we agree or disagree. You don't strike out at them. He is a tether. He's an enemy. That's what the word means. That enemy, Sambos. That's what it means. If you coming in here, any other African, look at the African what's they call it? Burkina. Africa is rising up. They're saying you can't no more have gold contracts. You're not gonna continue to exploit us of our resources. I think it's like 3 countries. It's called the Burkina Faso. That's my new hero. He's standing up to the imperialism. enemy. No, Africa is taking it back. We love Africa. We just don't love Tethers. And I'll fold my chair.
All right. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and get towards the end. I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a couple minutes that's up here to speak. I got Xander, I got Ray, I got Perfect. I see your hands up. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this thing because I got to go ahead and do something. So we're going to go ahead and end this space. I'm trying to end it at 10 o'clock. Xander, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
That's what's going to happen, brother. Yeah, him bringing up Malcolm X and Farrakhan, that's when it got offensive because if you look at the history, first of all, when you look at Luther Campbell, it was Black Americans that kept him from basically going to prison down in Florida for selling music. And then when you talk about Malcolm X, first of all, he don't qualify as what you would call a tether. His father's a Black American. And then when it comes to Farrakhan and Malcolm X, it was taught by a Black American, Elijah Muhammad. Now, anybody who comes over here and fights on behalf of Black Americans, like both of these two men did, you don't qualify to be called no traitor or tether or anything. So now, as of right now, when it comes to Luther Campbell, he can be looked upon as a Ku Klux Klansman. He is 100% the enemy of Black Americans. And anybody who thinks sit up there, because Farrakhan himself, including Malcolm, they condemn the hell out of the Democrats for their treatment of Black Americans and Black people in general, but specifically Black Americans. So as far as these two, they don't understand the word tether because they wouldn't even mention these two men if they did. Now I'm mute.
All right. Thank you, Xander. Let me go ahead and get to Tracy. Tracy, go ahead and unmute your mic. Real quick, Tracy, I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next speaker because we're going to be closing this out in just a little bit.
That's fine. I'm going to be really, really short. I've been listening, and one of the major things that I heard was we have to think deep. And I think that it's ridiculous that we're sitting here talking about the semantics of the word tether when the Republican Party is literally trying to enforce the Dred Scott Supreme Court ruling that's over 170 years old to try and prevent Kamala Harris from being president or even being a candidate because she's Black. And they consider Black people still not citizens. So I think that, yes, we should think deeply and we shouldn't get so caught up in semantics and little shiny things and go, ooh, squirrel. Let's talk about a whole bunch of irrelevant stuff that's really going to do nothing for us. And maybe we should pay attention to the stuff that's actually going to, I don't know, take away our freedom. That's what we should be paying it, but that's just me. It's silly old me. I just think that this is really silly. So that's all I wanted to say.
Well, Tracy, I'm going to say this part real quick, sweetheart. If you come up in these spaces or if you go to the actual website, Newstoter.com, we talk about a lot of different things. Matter of fact, I know you're talking about silly stuff, but in the space, we also mention about illegals in California getting ready to have the ability to actually own houses. I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm talking about illegal immigrants who actually came into the country illegally. So there are a number of things we talk about in this space here.
I totally agree with you, and I'm not trying to negate the fact that you do talk about a wide variety of things, and that's why I enjoy listening and actually engaging, because I typically ignore all of this stuff. But you are very engaging, and I do enjoy the platform that you have set up. I think it's fantastic. But I think that sometimes my issue is the fact that we get so caught up in things that are so irrelevant that as a Black community, we end up missing on the stuff that's most important to us, and that actually take away our freedoms and our rights. And we completely bypass that because we get caught up in little shiny things. And that's what's frustrating to me. Not your platform in general, but like situations like this when, the Dred Scott ruling and them trying to use that, to legitimately get this woman out of office. And mind you, I don't even like Kamala Harris. It's just the simple fact that they are trying to take away freedoms of Black people in totality. And meanwhile, we're not even really paying attention to that. And it literally happened a day ago. And so that was why I say that we're talking about something silly when we could be talking about something that's far more impeding upon the Black community in totality.
Thank you, Tracy. I got to move because I'm trying to get this cut. But I see International came up here. She's a new speaker, International. I'll give you a couple minutes, and then we'll get to a couple other hands, and we're going to close this thing out. Go ahead, International.
Sure. What's up, Newstoter? Tracy, I just wanted to just push back just a little bit. While I agree that Kamala is definitely being targeted for her race, they also lumped in Nikki Haley on that. And the premise that the Republicans are standing on is more about citizenship opposed to it being racial. We all know that there's some racial undertones to it, but that's not what they're standing on, especially if they're pulling in Nikki Haley on that one.
All right. Thank you, International. Let me go ahead and get to I see Ray's got his hand. Ray, go ahead real quick, and then I'll get to Perfect, and we're gonna get ready to close this thing out.
I know you're trying to close down, so I'm gonna be very brief, brother. But I have to touch on what that person just said about the Dred Scott decision, because from the way I understand it, that decision was effectively overturned when they passed the 13th and 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which obviously that abolished, I think, slavery, established birthright citizenship, etc. So I don't see, how that's even possible, because even though with Kamala, with her being born in Oakland, she's a natural born citizen. So I'm not exactly seeing how that, really applies right there. But what else I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to be very quickly, it's about someone asked earlier about Farrakhan and his stance on reparations. Well, I actually found out a while ago that back in the 80s and the 90s, he actually was working with, I think it was Muammar Gaddafi, and he was trying to get, I think it was like $5-6 million to help fund different economic projects for Black Americans and stuff like that. And the U.S. government actually got involved, and they stopped Farrakhan because at the time, I guess, they said it was into terrorism or something. And then in, I think it was 96 when the Olympics came to Atlanta, I believe Gaddafi actually offered, Farrakhan $1 billion at the time, because he was trying to help, Black Americans. But he was trying to get banks and different infrastructure, to basically help the Black community. And again, the government jumped in to stop it. So I just wanted to touch on that one real quickly, especially the thing about the Dred Scott decision. I don't see how that's possible in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and I'll land there.
All right. Thank you, Ray. Let me get to Perfect. Perfect. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, I'll be quick as well. Again, I stand with Black Americans. Also, too, I have a lot of respect from what I can see for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Let me say that as well. But today's a new day as well, and we're standing on lineage business. And it's going to come a time where he's going to probably address it. And it's hopefully he'll be on the right side saying that I understand and I respect once he understands the detail of it in totality, as you say, Tracy. And I think that he probably wouldn't have a problem with it. He'll understand where we're coming from. Just like if he was the Honorable Louis Farrakhan in Jamaica or anywhere else, right? But again, much respect to him. Also, too, last but not least, we already know what Luke was up to. That was very disrespectful, and the way he did RZA was really bad for no reason, and RZA never even disrespected this man at all. So, all right, thank you. Okay, I'm about to go to sleep. I'm falling asleep now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Perfect. Sean, I'll give you a minute, and then we can ready to close this out. So go ahead.
Yeah, I just had to come up for the sister. I don't know who she was. But this is the bright and shiny things. It was some sort of innuendo that we're talking about things. I felt that it was it wasn't important. It is important, because what is important is that a Democratic shield has been launched against us, talking about our historical elders and trying to use that for divisiveness and beef. And we called it out. It's not about us being dealing with things that aren't important. So it was somewhat dismissive. So what I would ask and challenge that sister to do, come with your chucks, come with your pearls, come with your shiny things, and give us something better. but everything that we're doing is completely necessary, because everything that Luke did is an attack on our Black media and our voice. So don't come in here and talk about, oh, you ain't worried about things that are shiny and sparkling and stuff. I don't know what the hell your name is, but we are doing exactly what we need to do, because what they are doing and what Luke did is to try to infiltrate our voice and to take our shine. And so I'm telling that sister, you take your chucks and pearls somewhere else. And if anything, you come with a rag to shine my boots, because I'm not going to stop and the Black media is not going to stop. So that little nickel dime slick message that you put out, I picked up on that. No, we're not talking about this like we're just so stupid and not focused on the right thing. We're focused on the main thing and the right thing. Luke was sent to distract us, and he failed. So go eat crow. No. And I fold my chair.
All right. Thank you, Sister Sean. DJ, go ahead. Hey, Ray, Tracy, we're going to get ready to close this thing out because I got a project I'm working on, so I got to go ahead and get up out the space. That's one reason I have not been able to do spaces that often, so I'm working on something. So, DJ, go ahead and give you a minute, then we got to go ahead and close this thing out because I got to jump on this thing.
I don't need much. You already know next space out late. Let's go, gang. And just to get my 2 cents in on this space, I pretty much agree with everyone said about Uncle Luke. I've been calling him a coon since day one, so it is what it is. So, yeah, shout out to Tariq and RZA Islam and whoever else was up there, even Black Cardinal, schooling that tether nap. I'm going to call him a tether. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, nobody tell DJ what he is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, Luke, you tether gang, you know what I'm saying? Tether room, and you down with the detractor gang. So, therefore, meaning all you have ever done is a bunch of nothing and come up in our spaces derailing reparations. Why? Because you are from where you are from and you ain't an American knacker in that sense, meaning from the lineage. So this has been day one haterade coming from the Tether gang, you know what I'm saying, which Sister Shaw, by the way, means and I think Brother Ray already described it, you know what I'm saying? One who comes over here and latches on to our movement. Because the other words, the tether is just a horse lasso at this point. You know what I'm saying? By definition. So it is what it is. It's not a racial slur. You can say it all you want. It's no different from African booty scratcher. And that does not mean we are xenophobic or divisive against anyone else. It just is what it is. So let's go. Late night space. So.
All right, Pete. And real quick, whoever this cat Nigel is over there on YouTube, white boy sitting up here talking about, wow, 80 years a DEI and still no substantive progress. And I guess he's from Australia. Nigel, you can take yourself back to the outback, find your nice koala, and go blow them. On that note, we're gonna get ready to go ahead and end this space. So check out DJ Space. Is coming up next, guy. Yeah, go find your koala in the outback and go blow them, man. You're sitting up here talking stupid. Get your white ass up out of here. On that note, we're going to go ahead and end this space. Check DJ out, guys. We'll be back tomorrow night. We got another good one, so check us out. Peace.